I the a-hole for not using my son's college tuition to help bail my stepdaughter out of credit card debt? I have been remarried to my amazing new wife for about 6 years now. She has moved in with me along with her now 23-year-old daughter. After my most recent divorce, I have saved money aside so I can put my son through college. He has just turned 18 now. My stepdaughter unfortunately has had difficulties managing her money responsibly. She has gone on shopping sprees during the pandemic using the CARE Act stimulus checks from the government to buy herself Louis Vuitton bags and red-bottom heels. We understand that she has put herself in a difficult position. That's why we are considering bailing her out just once to help her. My wife says that we should use the money from my son's college fund to bail her out. I refuse to, because I have saved that money specifically for my son. My wife is upset. She thinks that we should operate as a team and treat each child as if they were our own. Am I the a-hole in this situation? Now for the top comments before reading the little update. Not the a-hole. Using extra savings? Sure. But she's asking you to take away from your son to help her daughter. Blood or not, she's literally asking you to prioritize one kid over the other. Kind of hypocritical. Have discussed extra savings but have left the college fund off the table. Do you think she's just mad that she doesn't have access to it? Yes, I think she wants to spend it rather than let your son have it. Don't let her have access. That is for your son's future. Do not let your wife take the money to spend on the irresponsible daughter. Can you imagine how his son would feel? Dad paid off my stepsister's Louis Vuitton accessories with my college fund, so now I'm waiting tables and going half-time at school. Won't graduate until I'm 25, and will probably be in debt from student loans. But it's all good, because my sister's horrible credit rating got a bump for a couple of months. She just trashed it again after those couple of months, because why not? Mom and stepdad will bail her out again, right? You ever touch the money you have saved for your son's education to pay off a 23-year-old woman's shopping spree bad decisions? Then you will be the a-hole. Your wife is one to talk. Tell her your son will be spreeing on his education. Who's gonna pay off the credit card for him? Not the a-hole. Honestly, 23 is old enough to know better, and I'm wondering if she's tried reselling her fancy items to chip away at the debt. If she hasn't sold her items, I wouldn't give her a penny. Of course, you're not the a-hole. Your stepdaughter can get a job like an adult and pay off her credit card. If your wife wants to give her a loan from her own finances, that's fine and dandy. But you shouldn't punish the good kid because the bad kid doesn't know how to behave. Edit. Thank you for all the responses. I didn't realize this post was going to blow up. I have decided I will not be providing my stepdaughter any funds out of my son's college tuition. My wife and I have scheduled counseling to discuss further steps. Rest assured, my stepdaughter will have to learn to cover this herself. Will not be responsible and will not punish my son because of poor spending on her side. Again, thank you for all the replies. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my brother-in-law after he told people I was their au pair? Hi. My 22 female sister's husband had a formal work party where they were supposed to bring their families. As soon as we got there, the host came to greet us and she told me that the other girls are in the backyard. I see women around my age separated from the party with a lot of children and realized they were the babysitters/au pairs. I didn't mind and went there since I was there to take care of the children anyways. At one point, someone asked me if I was the last name's au pair because they were asking for me. I didn't care that people assumed. I'm on the age range for it, and it's not common for people to bring their sisters to small parties like that, so it was okay. At some point, a pregnant couple was talking about being indecisive about getting an au pair, and everyone very happily started talking about it, because apparently rich people are proud of having expensive workers as much as they're proud of having expensive cars. They started discussing about prizes, what are and aren't acceptable chores for au pairs to have, and when everyone started giving examples of what their au pairs do, my brother-in-law said that his only did kids-related chores. I chuckled and pointed that I also make breakfast for him, which I do. I thought that the rudeness/disrespect of butting in on a conversation and contradicting him would be enough, but it wasn't. There was a playground around the corner, and the babysitters were organizing the things to take the kids there. My niece ran to her dad to ask if Auntie could take her there with the rest of the kids. Someone questioned him why he calls me Auntie, and he told them he thought that having the kids calling me Auntie would make them more comfortable with me. I said, and I thought that having him marrying my sister would make him nicer to me. My sister wasn't at any of the two occasions. We left the party an hour after that, and he still is super mad. He said I shouldn't try to make him look bad in front of people from the work that pays for my living, and that it wouldn't have hurt my pride to just stay quiet for one night, since I don't even know these people anyways. I'm feeling super guilty, and I feel like I might be the a-hole, because even if it isn't official, I kinda am their au pair. I do chores and help around, and they let me live rent-free and take care of my bills, so I think it was kinda ungrateful of me. And I also understand that they're one of the youngest couples, and therefore less successful, of the business, so we just wanted to fit in and not be the poor one that didn't have a full-time employee. My sister said it was not a big deal, but is still mad, and I feel like an A for sleeping in the house he bought while having disrespected him like that. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. He disrespected you. You're family, and he cares more how they see him. He lied to them. That makes him an a-hole. He is trying to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah, he was treating Opie like a servant, and distancing himself from Opie with the way he talked about her. Honestly, I feel like not all rich people are snobs. They would be more skeptical about a liar than someone whose younger sister came along to play with her niece and enjoy the party. A family man. There were literally parents there, or people who were soon to be parents. Opie's brother-in-law missed the opportunity to say, "Well, my wife's sister likes to help us out with our daughter. It saves us money, and we can trust her with our daughter. We appreciate her helping us, so we invited her along." The pregnant couple was also talking about how much to pay the person, so this would have been a good way to put it, and it shows he is an appreciative person who also values family. He dug his own grave by lying and the truth comes out. Everyone there seemed into kids/families, so it probably would have been fine if Opie was just Auntie instead of Auntie the babysitter. Not the a-hole. As someone who could easily afford to hire a few au pairs, your brother-in-law is an a-hole. I grew up with few au pairs, off and on. There's nothing wrong with talking about au pairs or how much they contract out for, as long as the contract stipulates you can. What matters is how you treat and talk to/about people helping your family. Absolutely this. And thank you for saying it. Also, that little white lie could have a snowball effect for future events with his co-workers. He set a precedent, and Opie would be expected to keep up the charade. Good for Opie for speaking up in a gentle and playful way. Not the a-hole. You're his sister-in-law, not his employee. You honestly were doing him a favor just by watching his kid, and he was overstepping his bounds with you. Do not buckle to him. He was the rude one here. And if he cares about looking rich around all his work buddies, he can go and actually get an au pair. Next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out after her son gave my dog dreadlocks? My sister is a single mom with one son, 14. They have been staying at my place for the past few because they lost their apartment, and she's saving up money to get a new apartment. She, however, has driven me crazy lately. She's up late at night on the phone or watching TV. I go to work at 3:30 a.m., so I've been getting less sleep. Her son constantly bothers my daughter. She has brought men over from the bars, etc. She doesn't do chores. They make messes, and I've addressed these issues so many times that I get ignored. The final straw came when I came home from work last night and I saw that my dog had dreadlocks. Not a lot, but like maybe 8 or so. WTF? I'm not sure if that's alright. He sure didn't seem comfortable and was pawing at them. I'm worried because I've heard horror stories about people who didn't wash properly and nasty stuffs grow inside of dreadlocks. I asked him about it, and he said he thought it looked cool and is not finished yet. I was so pissed when I saw that, and later I found out he posted it on TikTok. That was the final straw. I told my sister she had to leave. She, of course, pulled the whole "but we're family" card, saying how she's a struggling mom and how it's just a dog and it's not a big deal. I told her I'm sick of this. He knew better. And quite honestly, I'm tired of them living with me. She, of course, called my parents, who sided with me thankfully, but our siblings and cousins took her side, who bombarded me with texts and calls telling me I need to take them back. She eventually moved in with my brother. Anyways, I'm wondering if I did the right thing here. I feel bad because they're struggling, but giving my dog dreadlocks was just crossing the line. Not the a-hole. They took her side because they're scared she's going to try and live with them. Take your dog to a groomer ASAP. The dog could get so uncomfortable that he rips them out and then gets an infection. In addition, who knows what he used to bind them. I would be throwing their crap out the windows the moment I saw my pup. That's not how grateful guests behave. Not Dehal. I would have kicked her out when she started bringing random men into your house when you have a daughter at home and didn't clean up after herself. Didn't realize it sounded so bad from how I wrote it. My house has a garage that's not attached to the main building, which is where her bedroom is. She brought men there, not inside the main building, that I know of. Not Dehal. Our siblings and cousins took her side who bombarded me with texts and calls. Did these helpful individuals offer to take her in while they were berating you? A struggling mom, who was really struggling, would be appreciative of your generosity and take care to treat your place and the inhabitants respectfully. My brother did. However, he wasn't so hostile about it like the others were. Some of them live in other states, but the rest didn't, so yeah, you got a point there. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend it was my sister who stole his stuff from him despite my parents' disapproval? I, female 25, have been with my boyfriend Adam, male 26, for over a year. He's so wonderful and adores my family and loves visiting them regularly. There was an accident about a week ago while me and Adam were visiting my parents for dinner. His stuff, his phone, car keys, medication, and $200 was gone missing. We looked all over the house but couldn't find the stuff. My 18-year-old sister was in her room the entire time, except for a few minutes to ask what we were looking for. Me and Adam had to go home in an Uber still feeling shaken up and confused. Adam kept stressing out about his medication, which is the most valuable among the stuff he lost, and had a hard time getting replacement for it. I went back to my parents the next day to continue looking for Adam's missing stuff, and found it in my sister's room, the only place we didn't look. I was dumbfounded. I waited for her to come back from school and confronted her. My mom started making excuses instead of asking my sister why she took Adam's stuff. I shamed her and said I was going to tell Adam and will absolutely support him if he decides to take legal action since the $200 weren't returned. Mom freaked out and begged me to lie to Adam and say I found his stuff in the bathroom cabinet instead of saying my sister stole it. But I refused. My sister broke down crying, saying if I tell Adam, I'll ruin her relationship with him. But I believe he needed to know the house he enters isn't safe for him. Mom said she couldn't believe I'm willing to encourage Adam to take legal action and ruin my sister's chance to her college application. My parents said they'd cut me off if this happens. This was the last time we talked. 2 days ago, Adam told me Mom called saying they found his stuff in the bathroom cabinet and gave it to me, but I was keeping it. I was stunned. Okay, first of all, the stuff is in my possession. Yes, but I was waiting on Mom and Dad to pay the $200 so I could have my sister return them to my boyfriend along with the other stuff and apologize, hoping we'd work this out without involving authorities. But Mom went ahead of me and told the story she made up to Adam. I laid out the facts to him and told him what really happened. That my sister stole his stuff, and that despite being ashamed of Mom and sister, I still gave them the opportunity to resolve this peacefully. Then I told him I support him in whatever decision he makes. Adam was in dismay and very upset he confronted my parents, and they kept denying. Mom was furious. She kept crying, saying I failed to do them this one small favor to tell a white lie to Adam, but I just ruined the entire family's relationship with him, and anything that comes out of this is my fault after making them look like liars and my sister like a vicious thief. My whole family are in conflict and are shaming me for exposing my sister and making a fuss over a small mistake. I haven't seen Adam since the day he found out. Neither party are happy, and I'm being blamed and accused of escalating things. Everyone sucks here, almost. I'm going with your A-Slide's A-Hall because he didn't return the stuff to Adam and tell him what happened the day you found it. Your family's a pile of major A-Halls. Your sister needs the consequences which are due to her. Adam's not an a-hole. Yeah, I don't get why Opie didn't immediately give him his stuff. That was just a weird choice, especially medication. And Opie's sister didn't make a small mistake. She stole from Adam, came out, asked what they were looking for, and when she knew it was the stuff she stole, she just slunk back to her room. She knowingly stole all of his things. And the parents are like, no big deal. And Mom and her lies? What the hell? Someone in the damn family still shoved it in the bathroom and took the $200. What is wrong with this entire family? Everyone sucks here except Adam. Your family sucks for obvious reasons, but so do you. You should have told him the moment you returned and located his stuff and given him the opportunity to take whatever action he needed to. The truth of it is that you broke his trust by waiting for the money and then hopefully sweeping it under the rug. Your delay and lack of honesty meant that your mother was able to feed him the narrative that painted you in the worst light. Of course, he won't trust you again, or at least shouldn't. You're acting just like your entitled family no matter what your intent was. Actually, this is an interesting angle I hadn't considered. Would Opie have outed her family if her mom wouldn't have told her bonehead story? Because it kind of seems like maybe they convinced her to shut up. Why wouldn't you just tell him the truth, and then tell him you're working on recouping his $200? I'm kind of wavering on whether she was actually as committed to the truth as she claims now. Info. Why did you wait 2 whole days to give him back his meds and his phone? I waited for my parents to get the $200 as I told them to. Then I was planning on having a family meeting where my sister comes clean about what she did. $200 is a lot. It's not easy to get that much money, and I know how much Adam worked for it. I get it. But if I were without my meds and phone for 2 extra days because my girlfriend wanted to get everything back to me all at once, I'd be pissed about that too. Very minor a-hole move by you, but overall not a-hole.